Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Kind of wrapping up Saturday's game. I was really pleased with the overall outcome of how we finished. We talked to the guys throughout last week, is really wanting to come out and get to a fast start. I mentioned that in my post game, and I thought it couldn't have played much better there in the first quarter. I love the energy, love the intensity, the execution. I think our first offensive drive was 14 plays. Did a great job mix and run and pass. Being able to jump out to that lead. Second quarter, had some adversity, some mishaps that happened really on both sides, and it wasn't as clean as it needed to be. As we were going through that, you look at the last 2 minutes of the first half. Obviously gave up a touchdown. We weren't able to get things in our 2-minute drive. Took a negative on the first play. Decided to go to the half, and then the opening kickoff, the second half was about as bad of a start as we could have. But like I said, there it's Saturday, I was really pleased with the response, and for the defense not to give up a point in the second half. It wasn't ultimately the cleanest play that we had. There's still some details and some things that we got to clean up. That we were able to address yesterday, but to not give up a point offensively, to really be able to finish the game. Doing a great job in the run game. Guys were really battling up front. Thought we saw great physicality. Up front. Tight ends, running backs, in the way that they ran, and then the receivers, I thought, showed up really big. Keon Coleman, I pointed him out to the team yesterday. I thought he had 2 huge blocks on the long touchdown runs by Trey Benson. That those are the things that you just want. You really celebrate. Just that type of play. With how what guys are doing without the ball in their hands, and. But I was pleased with our team. I thought they responded well. I thought we were, very efficient in what we did offensively. Throughout the course of the game, I did a good job. We're over 50%. When you look at the 3rd and 4th down, conversions, how we look at that. Being able to extend drives defensively, great response in our 3rd downs. They did have a couple 4th down conversions that you got to be able to clean up and keep them in those longer yardage situations. But I thought our guys played hard. I thought they played tough throughout, and was definitely happy to get the victory. It sets up for another conference home game. It's going to be an early start there Saturday. We're excited about it, and I know we're going to have an incredible crowd. Encourage everybody to get here early and get ready to roll. this is our fan base is incredible. Makes such a wonderful impact to the game, and we're going to need another great atmosphere. It was special there Saturday, and we know that we've got to have a big impact on that here, this weekend, and definitely excited to be able to get back into Oak Campbell and go compete, against a talented Syracuse team that's coming off of a couple losses, but as they showed throughout the beginning part of the season, it's a very explosive team, and they're going to attack in all that they do. Got a very experienced quarterback. They definitely present challenges with how he plays with his arms and his leg, or with his arm and his legs. Definitely we've seen him those last few years, and he's a really, really good player. He's got good skill around him. Defensively, Coach Long's new defensive coordinator. He's a legend in this business, and he's as good as they come when it comes to the aggressive approach and how to attack. They're going to show you every front, every blitz. You got to do a wonderful job playing discipline, playing with your eyes, being able to respond to whatever he's going to throw at you. So we got our hands full for the week of preparation, and but I'm definitely excited to see our guys continue to grow and go compete.
Morning, Mike. Just wondering, Johnny Wilson, any update with regards to him leaving the game?
Yeah, this is going to be something that we see as we go throughout the course of the week. Johnny was feeling better yesterday, and so we're excited to, about where we think it can go. But ultimately it was take it day by day this week, and I thought he did a wonderful job there in the first half. On Saturday, and really has taken his game to another level, and just in how he played and what he's been able to do. So hopeful to be able to get him back rolling here early in the week.
Was Keon an effective blocker when he came here, or is that something he's worked on since he's been here?
You know, I think he embraces, being a complete player. And, it's, he shows he's shown moments of the willingness, but I mean, taking that ownership is something that I'm proud of him, for. And, as a receiver, you guys have seen our teams. I mean, it's something that we really harp on, and I think Coach Dugan does a great job of building that mentality into the room. And, guys embrace that. And, Keon's was a great example of that, there on Saturday. And I mean, those were huge plays. And it's usually the difference between a 20-yard run to whatever 65, 85-yard run. Just being able to get out there and take care of guys on that next level. And so I'm proud of all of our all of our guys at receiver. I mean, just how they embrace that work and just that mentality. And then obviously it shows great unselfishness. Just being able to go and physically do your job when it comes to those times.
Syracuse has recorded a lot of sacks as a defense, but it seems like they bring pressure from a lot of different areas. You guys did have a couple of pass protection issues this past week. Kind of what kind of challenge did they present?
No, I mean, it's going to be a great challenge. And I mean, this is, you're not going to see a team that brings more variations of pressures, just the different looks from 3 down to 4 down to, I think it'll blitz everybody on the field at some point. I mean, it's, it really does, you have to be great with your eyes. You got to be great with your technique. We had a couple slow reactions where we gave up pressures. There the other day. All in all, I think our offensive line's done a great job throughout the course of the season. And being able to protect Jordan and to work to give him time. But the other day we had a few times that we had pressure on them, and it's opportunities for us to see, to learn, and one of them was just a pure busting communication of assignment, and that we can't have those in those situations. But there's very correctable things that we can improve upon, and our guys know the sense of urgency, because I mean this week you're going to see it all.
Well, I'm having a chance to watch that game back. What did you see anything that you liked from the offensive line in terms of blocking, especially for the run game, to open up holes for Dre?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they did a great job of at the point of contact, of being physical, of being able to create space. Is one of the things we knew, because last week's opponent, I mean, they were, their defensive front, I mean, they were athletic, and I mean, they were going to try to penetrate with different movements. You saw a week prior of how effective they were in that, and we knew that we had to try to do a great job of creating the space when we had it, and make sure that we're playing with our eyes and not behind on blocks. And I thought our guys really did a nice job with that. They embraced that challenge, and gave Trey some great running room to be able to get to the next level, and that's what allowed the receivers to have those impactful moments. And obviously Trey took care of the rest. And I thought LT did a wonderful job. A couple big runs. His touchdown run was as good as you'll see. Just a way to finish. But I thought he ran tough, and physical throughout the day, and so I really liked what the O-line did, and being able to present some of those holes.
Go back to Chris, front row.
I have two quick ones. First, Conrad Hussey, what has he shown you as a freshman? What can Saturday do for him as he's continuing to build? And secondly, Syracuse offensively, Schrader's obviously well known, but their personnel seems a little different than you guys have faced the last couple of years.
Yeah, Conrad, being able to come in, and we talked about him last week, and he was coming off of really two weeks of the bye week and last week's practice, where he'd take some really positive steps. We knew we were going to get him in. We wanted to make sure that we got the chance to see him in that space, and I thought he played confident in it. And there were obviously some things. As a true freshman, you get out there, it starts moving fast, and there was a few things that he's going to have to improve upon. But what I loved was there was no hesitation. When it came to when he saw the ball, when he got a chance to go and attack him, he definitely did that. Threw his body around, had the big hit on the swing play. And obviously be able to create the takeaway there late was big, and I think that's just going to continue to build his confidence, and it's just refining the details, making sure he's on point with in all areas of what he can do and how he can continue to get better. But I mean, we feel really good about where he's going to be going just as a player and as he continues to mature in the defense and all things we're asking him to do. When you look at Syracuse, they have had an injury. The Gadsden, the tight end. Obviously he's out for the year. He was a great player, but you look at them and they've got great size, guys that when you look outside at the receiver position, guys that have wonderful body control, ball skills. They definitely can present challenges. Some guys that have great long speed. If you let them out and let them get going, they can really stretch the field vertical. They're going to be very balanced in what they do in the run game. Can attack you a lot of different ways. Their running backs catch the ball well out of the backfield, and then Rader is just he's such a challenge. 2 years ago when he came here, I think it was one of his first starts there at Syracuse. He's running just a bootleg, and he's got 250-pound guys bouncing off of him, and had some really explosive runs in that game. And then obviously you look at the course of work that he's done over the last couple of years. He's a very talented player and can do a lot of great things with his arm. And if you account for everybody in the passing game and don't have eyes and a body on him, definitely make you pay as a runner.
Come back to Essen on the left.
An emphasis going into the week was the third downs. You guys started 5 of 5 and they scored 3 touchdowns on third downs. Was that the response you wanted to see on third downs?
No, absolutely, and something that we want to make sure that every opportunity we get to convert, we want to convert. And some of those times it might be a third down, that gets to a 4th and short and puts us in a position. We had I know the 4th down conversion there with Jordan. It's about continuing to move the chains, and we talked about trying to have to keep possession of the ball, to be able to control the clock a little bit. You saw that in the first quarter. I thought we did an outstanding job of it. Defense got 3 straight 3-and-outs. Offense was able to put together some drives. In the second half, didn't really show up as much on that because we had the explosive plays. a 2-play drive, I think a 1-play drive. So you're not going to get I like those too, but I thought our guys did a good job of preparing for the third down situations and being able to execute in those moments.
Stay on the left side, Jordan.
Hey, Coach, can you talk a little bit about the 2-point play? Was that a call that you guys were planning on doing throughout the week, or was it just you guys saw a look and executed from there?
It's something that we obviously practice and prepare for, and we had a look that we thought could put us in a decent number count, and they defended it pretty well. Got a secondary late pressure. We had a lot of space with Brian. I thought Brian, that was a really tough run. We knew we would try to gain leverage. We did have a pass option off of it, if it presented itself. But as he got leverage, he did a great job of being a lower his shoulder and finishing the end zone. Brian's a high school quarterback, so it was pretty heavy in the quarterback run game, coming out. So I felt pretty confident when I saw him getting his legs moving that he would find it in the end zone, and he did.
Go to Kurt on your right.
Jaheim, I know didn't play a ton in that game Saturday, so I don't know what went into that, but how do you see Kyle and Marquiston kind of take advantage of that, and just how the benefit of having 3 guys like that you trust to go out there?
And Jaheim, I'm going to get first off. He was banged up last week and was very limited, in practice, and I appreciate him and just how he was able to prepare to make himself available. We knew he was going to be a very limited snap count. He did. I think he played maybe 7 plays in the game, but being able to get himself to where he could go out there and play. I respected just the work that he put in, and getting rehab, doing all that he could at practice. But we knew he was going to be limited, and Kyle. I think Kyle's just continuing to get better. I'm so excited about the growth I've seen from him. I think he had 4 catches. Was able to do a lot of good things as a blocker. You saw. He had a couple blocks with great finishes. Being able to create that space that we were talking about earlier. Marquiston, some good things. I think he's continuing to grow as a player and just his consistency, and being able to have that core of guys that can attack at the tight end position. It really opens up so many doors for us in what we could do, not only in the passing game but also in the running game. Creating gaps, creating leverage, different angles to be able to attack with, and it was definitely a good thing to see those guys continue to grow.
Was the plan going in to maybe have Jordan run a little more than he had? And then also on his runs, something I was just curious about, there's been a couple of times where he's ducked down really quickly, and he's been hit in the head, including that game where the kid got kicked out of the game. Is that what y'all want him to do? Is that something spur of the moment? You just don't see a lot of quarterbacks, I guess, duck down quite as quickly in traffic like he does.
For Jordan, I mean, he's we had options, say, like in that game, just like we have in most games, for the potential of him to be able to run, and those things presented themselves a few times. Jordan is definitely a dynamic runner. As he gets in space, you can make people miss. I mean, you saw that show up even a few times yesterday. But as things are converging down on him, I'm not trying to see how many times he can go try to maybe run over people. So you go get what you can get down, go to the next play. It's still forcing the defense to have to account for him. And when you get that, then you see with that possibility, and because if they don't have somebody on him, it's I think we've all seen over the years just what he can do in open field and open space. But when you have teams that have to now account for him, I mean, it takes one less hat away from from Trey or the running backs or different things that we're doing there. And so I'm really pleased with how he's managed the game. I thought he was extremely efficient there the other day. I'm as in the run game and the passing game, and I mean, he's playing at such a high level. I mean, just excited about what he's doing. But yeah, we're not. I'll tell him if he gets going and he's got multiple guys converging down on him, go ahead and get to the next play. You already gained positive yards. Let's get to the next one, and let's not take any unnecessary shots.
Just want to check on a couple other guys that we didn't see much of Saturday. Obviously, Bless didn't play, and Tatum wasn't available much, and then how Robert Scott came out of that game.
Yeah, Robert came out, is his first extensive action. I think he played maybe 12 plays in the LSU game. He came out of the game better than what we even thought he would. So, I mean, that's going to be really good for him here moving forward. I expect, and I liked what we saw. We were able to kind of use a little bit of a three-man rotation there. I thought Darius played at a very high level, there on Saturday. Jeremiah Byers is continuing to grow, continuing to build confidence. But I liked being able to play all three of those guys. Bless was unavailable for the game. We'll see how he progresses throughout the course of this week to see his availability for Saturday. And then Tatum was he was close, and he got banged up a little bit the week prior, and he was available. But we were it was one of those situations where it could have had a small number count, but if we could avoid from having to play him, I mean, then I thought we were going to be in a good shape, and we were able to do that. And I thought Omar Graham, obviously DJ and Kalen did a great job, but Omar Graham, Blake Nicholson got some good work in Tatum's absence, but we're very confident that he'll be back and rolling this week.
Jerry?
Coach, I was going to ask the same question, but I have a follow-up instead. Can you talk about what that means to a person like Nicholson or even Graham, who's still really young, to be able to get in and play when the game is consequential?
Yeah. I think it's huge. I think it was Saturday I was asked a question about those guys, the plan to get them in. I'm not going to put anybody on the field that we don't believe can go out there and execute and play at a very high level. I mean, there's just too much work and too much investment that's gone in, over the years. And so when guys get on that field, there's a responsibility that they have, and there needs to be a sense of urgency for everything that they're doing and how they prepare and how they communicate, and the overall execution when the ball is snapped. And to see those guys earn those opportunities, I'm really proud of. We've had, I think it was 3 or 4 different, true freshmen there the other day that, that made impactful plays and impactful moments, and you like seeing that. You like seeing those guys, get the experience. It wasn't always right in what they did or their technique or their fundamentals, but you see, and then you get to address, all right, well, why? How do you get this better? And then, their ownership of applying those lessons and to be able to continue to grow through the process. But, that experience is. I mean, it's invaluable for what it's going to mean for their future, but it's also, I mean, when they're out there, you got the same responsibility of a fifth-year senior that's been here. I mean, you got to go play at an elite level, and it's what makes it challenging, but it also forces the maturity for how they need to prepare and what they need to do.
I guess I don't know if either of them recorded a catch, but they seem to both play a decent amount. Ja'Kai and Kentron getting back. I guess the timing of that seems pretty good. I guess with building the depth in that room with I know questions in the week coming about Johnny, about Jaheim, and obviously the Winston Wright news last night.
Yeah, I was really pleased. Kentron is, Kentron probably had as good a spring as anybody that we had. I mean, he was just so much confidence building, and it was unfortunate that you had the injury there in fall camp that he's really unavailable for the early part of the season. But seeing him get back, and he when he got in there, he played fast. Especially when Johnny went down, like I said, didn't record a catch, but I mean he showed the burst and the route running that it was good to see. He was blocked really well. Ja'Kai had a couple missed opportunities there in the game, but what I loved getting him back out in practice last week. You saw the explosiveness, you saw the playmaking ability. Now getting building back that confidence there. On game day, it's great. Destin Hill, made a huge play, great catch there on a wheel route there. He's continuing to get better in all the things that we're asking him to do, and seeing that depth in that room. A lot of guys that that have played meaningful snaps that are there, able to contribute, and also seeing us be able to spread the ball around. I mean, it was I don't remember the exact numbers, 8-9 guys that recorded a catch in the game. I think Jordan's doing a good job when it comes to that, and just continuing to build that timing, the confidence in all those guys. It's definitely great things for this offense.
Coach, are you able to kind of characterize Winston's decision to leave the program? Did it catch you by surprise? Was it something you guys have been talking about?
No, I mean it's everybody's got you get one chance going through this journey, and Winston, I love him. He's a great young man. Wish him all the best in his future. He's been through challenging situations. Obviously what he went through last year. It was hard, man. It was hard for everybody. Having to see him, just the ebb and flow of rehabbing to get back, and it doesn't go necessarily how you want, but ultimately it's he was back, he was working, and continuing to build to increase a role, and as we move forward, that's all I ever tell all of our players, right? This is very competitive. You're here at Florida State. Every day is going to be it's going to be a challenge. You're going to get pushed. You're going to and all I ask is that whatever your situation, whatever the circumstance is, you just go pour it all into it. And Winston has got a great future in front of him. He's going to be whatever decision he makes, whether it's to continue on. I think he's got another year eligibility that he could utilize, and I'm going to cheer for that kid forever. And it's just we support him as he makes decisions. But if no matter where you are, if you can't put all into it, or there's other things that are going on, then I support him in whatever they choose to do. But he was I'll forever love that young man for the journey he's been on, and just who he is.
I don't know how much control head coaches have in their schedules, their non-conference schedules. In football, it seems like some other sports maybe more so. Would you prefer to not have the first month of the season you guys had this year? And in terms of you see some other schools that get basically a month to or 2 or 3 weeks to kind of work into their tougher games. And what challenges does that present when you have a first month like you guys did this year?
Well, yes and no. It's to come out the gate and you're playing on a national stage. Obviously, that spotlight. With there's a lot of benefits that come to it, and just the way that you have to prepare through the off season. We've already played 3 conference games. We got a stretch here. Just really the dynamic of 2 non-conference games to start, 2 non-conference to end, and when you get in the mix of it, it is. You got to roll, and especially this year, not having divisions. There's no week that you can't slip. You got to bring it every week. Every week you still find out things about your team throughout that journey. But there's no question the schedule that we had. It challenged us early, which. I do think builds confidence, and especially starting off, 4-0, or how it was there in the month of September. It built some confidence of some of the things that we could overcome. But on the flip side of it, you're still a work in progress, and we're still on that journey right now of working to get better. And I think every team is different. Every team has their own dynamics, and to start off with the schedule that we did, I mean, it's definitely hardened our football team, and as we've we know that we've got great talent, we've got great ability, but there's the growth that's in front of us can really take us to another level because we've had to do it against good people. And I'm excited about where this team and how this team works. Last night's practice, coming off the win on Saturday, I mean there was a definite sense of urgency, and we want to fight for our improvement every day in what we're doing. And now you're in the conference late, and there's you got a 4-2 Syracuse team that's coming in here that's gonna give us everything that they have. And ultimately, we have all respect for them, but it's not about them. It's about us. It's about what we do. It's about how we execute. It's about how we play. And I think our guys are buying into that process of just getting better. And it's been the same message regardless who it was that showed up as our opponent. And I think our guys are handling that well, but continuing to improve.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
You too.
I appreciate that.